I just had the weirdest dream ever, man. So last night I went to the store and I bought some chips, right? Some spicy chips. And I ate like half a bag right before I went to bed, right? And or a couple days ago, I went with Jim to go get a car or to go buy a truck. We drove like about 30, 40 miles away and we went and bought a truck. And in the back seat of his car, I saw this like weird bean or something. It was like a really long bean. It was really hard. It was like it looked like some kind of bean from a tree or something. It wasn't like a bean from a vegetable plant. But in my dream, Jim and I went on this really long metal detecting trip with a bunch of people who I didn't really know, and there was a huge pile of detectors right on the floor, and it was all muddy. Yesterday I went out metal detecting with actually yesterday in real life, not in the dream. I went out metal detecting with my um, with my Equinox, and I just killed it. Right, I got 3 rings, some gold, a bunch of jewelry, a buffalo nickel, lots of deep relics, a lantern part, a compact case, lots of stuff. And then last night during my dream, I was I had the dais actually that I was using. I was using a 9-inch coil, and it had a wire going to the top of the coil, right? And we were with a bunch of people, and we were digging up these beans, right? Jim, one of the beans that Jim had in his back of his truck. They say that dreams last only like 5 seconds. This dream did not last 5 seconds, right? And then Jim and I, we were hunting like in a really weird spot, and we met these people, and this guy was harvesting these beans, right? He was digging them from under the ground, and he had them all laid out. He's like drying them out. He was like Mexican, and he said, "Yeah, they're called bacaros, right?" And then one lady, the guy didn't speak very good English, but he was harvesting them from the ground, right? And he said, "Well, what if we find some with our metal detecting shovels, right? What if we can metal detect them?" And then we were like digging holes, and one guy found a huge lawnmower part, like a big cutting blade with the shroud that goes underneath the lawnmower for like a riding lawnmower. And he was like digging this. He had this huge hole, right? And then we got lost, and the lady who was with the guy who was harvesting the bacaros, I don't know if they're called bacaros or not, but that's just what they said in the dream, right? But I had a bite of one, and it tasted like a squash, and they were buried under the ground. They were softer than the one that was in Jim's car. Hang on with me here. This is a long dream, man. And then and then somehow the lady who was with the guy, we got stuck together with like 4 or 5 other people who were really young, and this lady was older, and we were like flying, right? And we got lost because we were trying to get back to the spot that the guy's house who we were metal detecting with. We went and visited him. We went with on basically a group hunt with him, and but we got lost going back to his house, and we got lost next to this big pier. We were trying to go to this radio station down underneath this pier, and there's a bunch of kids like on these bleachers made from tarpaulin, right? And it was all loose and stuff. And then I told this guy that I was going to have withdrawals or something, or I was going to have withdrawals from a cigarette, because it was such a long trip, right? Because we were lost and we were just walking forever. I mean, it seemed like we were walking forever. And then I was holding on this lady, right? And I was flying, but she was walking, right? And sometimes in dreams I fly, but this one was a really good dream. And we got lost, and it seemed like we were looking and looking, and I tried to call Jim, but my phone was all malfunctioning. I was trying to push buttons, and my phone was malfunctioning, and to have him come pick us up, right? Because we'd been walking for hours, right? It seemed like hours in my dream, right? I just had this dream a few minutes ago, so I can remember it. And we're just walking, and then I asked one of the guys. I said, "We need to get out of this. We need to get down this this radio station down underneath this big tarp. There's like 5 of us walking on the edge of this tarp. It was like a really long, steep grade going down to the river there, down to the pier. But there's a radio station, I guess, we were trying to get to. For some reason, I said, we got to go back. I kept on telling them, we got to go back to to go find Jim, right? I mean, all these people who I didn't know I was with, and I was trying to call Jim. I was lost. I was really confused. And then when we were walking, I fell asleep, but we were still walking, right? I fell asleep, and I didn't know where we're at. I didn't know the way back because I had fallen asleep. And we were walking. I fell asleep when I was walking, so just hanging here. But then I asked this guy, I said, how do we get down to this radio station there? I kind of went with everybody else. I said, well, we got to get there. I mean, everybody's trying to get there. We were trying to go there on this really steep tarpaulin, and it was like really shady, man. There's like all wobbling and swaying back and forth. And then I asked one of the guys who was in the bleachers, like right next to us, how do we get down there? And he said, oh, go up here, go around up to the little deli up there, and then go around the corner. There should be a service truck there. Actually, I'll take you there right now. So we follow him, and then we lose him, halfway through the hunt there, or halfway through the trying to get down the police station or down to the radio station, and then I get back up, and everybody's gone, right? Nobody's there. So I walk right on the outside this deli up on the top side there. I don't remember coming out down there because I obviously had fallen asleep when we were walking down there. And I get outside this deli, and we're like in this really old town, like at some beachfront town. And then I walk around the corner, and I see the truck, but then I come out further, and it's like a horse. It looked like a policeman, like a mounted policeman on a horse. And then I back up and go towards the traffic, and there's all these cars going by, super noisy, right? And then it wasn't a police horse; it was a dog, and it looked like the policeman was on a frickin' horse, but the horse jumped up backwards, landed on his back, but there was no policeman on the horse, and it was actually a dog. And then I called Jim right after. I said, Jim, you need to come pick me up. I'm over by the deli up by the old beachfront, the street there, and my phone was malfunctioning. I just couldn't contact Jim. And then we went over again right after that, and then I saw a huge pile of detectors. Somewhere like in somewhere in one of these businesses right on the boardwalk there. I said, that's where we were at. That's all of our detectors, because my dais had a coil coming from it, it had a little wire coming from it, and was going up to some weird device, but it was definitely the dais, it just has that certain design. I said, that's our detectors, man. Jim is around here somewhere. So I started looking for him, and then I woke up right there, and that's my dream. It seemed like we had just walked and walked and walked for hours, man. They say that dreams only last a few seconds. This dream did not last a few seconds, man. I can guarantee you that it was at least 20 or 30 minutes, man. Well, there's my dream. I'm going to get my rain gear on. It's going to start raining today again. I'm going to go out with I'm going to go out with Jim. We're going to put our big coils on and go back to that park. Maybe to another park, because I really did tear it up yesterday. I dug a lot of holes yesterday. Just in one spot there. Not in one spot, but in the whole park. I probably dug about 350 holes. And I've been digging on that park a few days, the last couple weeks. So a lot of hours, a lot of holes there. So we'll probably go to a different park today. Well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.